Our website is starting to look nice. We already have the header section right here along with the navigation and the social media icons. We got the hero image with the background image, the bold typography, and the slider navigation. Then we got this big section of featured items right here that we divided into two separate subsections, and then we got to this second featured item subsection that is actually dividing our whole website into two halves, left and right, and then we got our from our blog section. So next we will create the Instagram feed section for our design. So I'm going to create a new layer as usual, and we could call it Instagram, or we could simply call it gallery, just like so. In the process of creating the gallery, you will learn how to use clipping masks inside Affinity Designer, and it's going to be the last technique of using images inside this software. So what we want here is a series of rectangles and squares that are going to be the containers for our images. So I'm just going to grab the rectangle tool, and I'm simply going to create a rectangle that is going to be, well, something like so. Why not? Now I'm simply going to clone it to the right, just like that, and maybe make it just a bit smaller, to something like so. Then I'm going to clone it again to the right and extend it, then clone it again and extend it even more. And then I'm simply going to grab this guy, move it to the right, and make it significantly smaller, just like so. Now I'm simply going to maybe change some of these colors, just so it doesn't look so boring, just like so. And what we can do now is we can simply bring these guys down and clone them down, just like so, turn them into a group, and simply flip them, just like so. So now our gallery, our Instagram feed is not so repetitive. I'm going to ungroup these guys, and each and every of these little elements, of these little rectangles and squares, is going to be one container for our images. So what we can do right now is we can simply start adding images. So I'm gonna use the place image tool, and I'm going to navigate to my Instagram folder. I specifically made these images just a bit smaller, just so you don't have to see me resizing them and adjusting them, well, too much. So I'm simply going to open this guy and place it just like so. So now you can see in my layers panel that I got the image and I got all these rectangles right here. So how to actually clip this image using one of these rectangles? Well, it's easy and not easy at the same time. It is easy because you can just grab it and move it beneath the rectangle that you want to well, work as a clipping mask. So let's say it's going to be this green guy right here, but as you can see, sometimes you just have to you have to just drag and to find the right spot for this technique to work. But once you find it, you can see that right there you can make it a clipping mask, just like so, and we can move it to somewhere here. This should be fine. So again, I'm gonna make sure that I'm on the right layer right here and grab another image, maybe this, maybe these crayons, like so, and I'm simply going to click like so, and I really want this image to be clipped by this green rectangle. As you can see here, my layers panel, all of these rectangles has a different thumbnail, and it's I think it's a good idea to make these guys to give them different colors, because now you can see that they are different in the layers panel as well. So it's easier to just distinguish which rectangle is which. So I'm gonna move this guy beneath this rectangle, but as you can see, it disappeared really. Well, that's because it's falling outside our clipping mask, but if we move it over our rectangle, it's magically reappearing just like so. So now we can just repeat the process with all the remaining images, but I think that before we do that, we can maybe change the colors of some of these rectangles, because we have 4 pink rectangles here, and it might be a bit confusing in our layers panel. So let's just quickly choose some arbitrary colors just so our rectangles are, well, better visible in our layers panel. Maybe this black one as well. Let me just change its color to some bluish color, like so. And now we can actually make sure that we are on the right layer. Place an image, maybe this guy. And let's say that it's going to be clipped by this green guy right here. So let me just find it in the layers panel. It is this guy right here. And I'm simply going to move it there. Then again, I'm going to make sure that I'm on the right layer. And maybe this one. And let's maybe bring it over this red one. So again, here, and move it up. So let me just quickly do this process with all the remaining images, and I will get back to you in just a second. And there we go, we got the gallery created, the Instagram feed created. So just remember that in order to create a clipping mask, well, the easiest way inside Affinity Designer is just to place an image and then just put it, place it inside a container like an rectangle or a square or a circle or any shape that you want. So now that we have this section created, our next order of business will be to just create the footer. And in our case, the footer is, is comprised of 2 parts, from this one against the green background and the smaller one here in the bottom that's actually a repetition of our header. So let's actually start doing that in the next video.